Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today we're here to celebrate the end of my latest Kickstarter. Yes, this is my 19th Kickstarter campaign. Thanks to all of your support, we've been able to do 19 of these, and it's the 5th issue of Quest. We just got a half hour left for the Kickstarter for Quest. We're fully funded, which has become easier since I've started setting the goals incredibly low. But I'm excited to say that the campaign's almost done, and I'm going to go through the campaign. I'm going to show all the stuff, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen after the campaign, some timelines for things, as I'm still finishing up the fulfillment on my previous Kickstarter for the Crime Busters #7. So a lot of exciting things to talk about. Let's get right to it here. I'm going to try and pull up the screen with the campaign. You can see we have 28 minutes left. We're currently at $2,557 pledged, 105 backers. Thank you to all the people who have supported this and supported me. I really appreciate it very much. It's very exciting. And I'm also happy to say that we've hit the stretch goal. I had announced a while ago a stretch goal where I said if we hit $2,500 and 100 backers, I'm going to do a trading card. And I wasn't sure we were going to get there because for the last almost 24 hours, we've been stuck at $2,480 with 99 backers. So we were like literally one person away. But in the last hour, we've had some people come on board. Now we've pushed that backer count up to 105, and we've crossed that $2,500 threshold. So again, thank you all so much for the support. Seems like I was just doing the live stream for the launch. This was a little bit of a shorter campaign, but it was still 18 days. It hardly feels like 18 days have passed since the launch. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I've lived a lifetime in the last 18 days. A lot of stuff going on, not a whole lot of it. Unfortunately, me being able to promote this comic, but I'm really excited for it. I'll just quickly go through all the rewards and stuff, although there's only 27 minutes left, so chances are that we won't get more people. But I will say, in case you're watching this on a replay afterwards, I will be having late pledges enabled. So once the campaign's over, if you missed it, you'll still be able to pledge for a couple weeks, at least 2, maybe 3 weeks, to still get stuff. So let's just go through here. And this is the special artist variant cover from Yara Chan. And she did a great job with this cover. It looks so cool. This is available, only printing 50 of these. And then we're also doing a metal version where we're only doing 25 copies. And I think that's going to look absolutely fantastic with the metal treatment. I think it's going to look so great. So I'm excited for that. And then here's the regular cover of issue 5. Marcos Lima did the cover, and colors by Adriel Dalla Vecchia. And Marcos did issue 1 of Quest. Now he's back for issue 5, and I was really happy to be able to work with him again. He does a great job with the art here. Here's a look at some of the previous covers. So if you get the set of all 5 issues, you can see what you're going to be getting there. We're now up over 125 pages. Rewind. Each issue is actually 24 pages long, except one of them is 25. So we're at 121 pages of action, plus there's a bunch of bonus pages and stuff, pinups and things like that. So a lot of epic fantasy action, swords and sorcery, stuff like that. And then we've got the campaign here. It's questcomicbook.com. There should be a link down below if you want to check it out and read these preview pages. But I put up 7 preview pages this time, so almost a third of the issue, so you can really get a feel for the characters and the action, the setting. This is actually in the comic as a giant 2-page spread, which is going to look really great full size. So I'm excited to share that with everybody. So we've got all the preview pages here. And then here's some more of the variant covers. Now, every issue I do this RPG edition, which has an homage cover that I do that looks like a classic D&D module. In this case, it's homaging the Hidden Shrine of Tomoakan. And the cover that was by Errol Otis. I've changed it to fit the storyline here, and this version not only has the variant cover, but inside it has 8 bonus pages of gaming material with rules for playing the different classes, monster manual entries, stuff like that, as well as a mini module so you can play through the adventure from the game, from the comic in your own home game. That's probably a most popular version of the comic, actually. And here's just a look at some of the sample pages to see what you're going to be getting. And then I had a special discount, or basically if you missed the previous ones, you can get the whole set where you're basically paying for 4 and getting the 5th one free. Same deal with the regular version. And we also have some other variants. Here's the Unending Quest version, which is designed to look like the old TSR Endless Quest books. Do you pick a path to adventure books from the 80s? The classic throwback variant. This is by this cover, as with the one from last issue, the art's by Eiler Asusano. He has done a really good job here, and I always do these covers here. They're my throwback variants to make it look like Bronze Age books. So that's a lot of these, as I say every time, I'm making stuff that I think is cool, stuff from my own collection. Luckily, other people seem to have similar tastes, so people seem to like this stuff. But there's that cover. And then we've got the 5th anniversary variant cover, which you can only get as an add-on. These are designed to look like the 25th anniversary Marvel covers, but with all the Crime Buster comic characters from all the comics that I do. These are put out to celebrate 5 years of me making comics, and all the comics I've done for the last year and a half have had these. There's just one more left to go, and then we'll have finished the set of those. And then here's some of the bonus rewards you can get. I think this sketch cover might still be available. This is one that I drew of the main character Vess teaming up with Red Sonja. And then we have some original art from the 5th anniversary covers, because Samir Samau, who draws those, draws traditionally ink on paper. And then, shows some of the other add-ons where you can get the back issues. Like a lot of people collect the series, they'll get all the throwback issues or all of one variant or the other, and you can add those all on. Yeah, that's pretty much the campaign. Very excited to be able to bring this to everybody. Let's see, my camera stopped. Oh, there we go. All right, I'll pull it back to me here for a minute. So that's just the basics of the campaign. We actually just got another backer in, so I had 106 backers, $2,624. So thank you to everybody who is following the campaign and contributing and supporting my comics. Making the comics is really important to me. I really love doing it, and it wouldn't really be possible without everybody's support. So I'm very grateful to everybody for your continued support. Thank you all so much. And particularly want to thank our latest backer, my father-in-law, John King. Thanks so much for the support every time. I really appreciate it very much. And I'll make sure I get that out too, because I think it's going to look really cool. So thank you so much. And again, we're now at 106 backers, which is down from the previous 4 issues. But times are tough right now for everybody. It's sort of across the board. Had a similar thing with the Crime Busters last campaign. So like the last issue of Quest, we had 131 backers. That was after the late pledges. We ended at 129. So right now we're 23 backers behind where we were last time. it is what it is. I really appreciate everyone who has been able to come back, and I sympathize with people who would like to get it. But again, times are tough right now with the economy and everything the way it is. So I totally understand why some people just aren't able to right now, and so it makes me extra grateful for everyone who is able to continue backing and wants to keep reading. And hopefully, people will enjoy this, and it'll bring a little enjoyment into people's lives. So thanks again to everybody who's been supporting the campaign. So as I mentioned, I'll have talk a little bit about what's going to come next for once the campaign ends. So as I've mentioned a number of times, recently I've been dealing a lot with a back injury that's I hurt 3.5 months ago now at the beginning of April. It's really slowed me down in terms of doing things like making comics. In this case, I was actually pretty far ahead on Quest. I thought I was going to have it done completely by the end of the campaign. That has not happened, but we're actually further ahead than we usually are at this stage. So the situation right now is that all the covers are done, so that's no problem. And in terms of the interior, we're exactly halfway finished. So 12 pages are completely done of quest number 5. So we have 12 left to do, and all that's left to finish on those. We're not starting from scratch. The art's all been drawn and the color's been done. So basically, I just need to go in and do a finishing pass with the colors to add some shading and texture, and then do the lettering. And what I've been finding is that that process of the coloring plus the lettering is taking me about an hour a page. So basically, we've got about 12 hours of work left there. Then I've got a couple other things that need to be done, particularly the inside front cover. It's now time to do a new map for that. And then we've got the RPG edition. So all told, I think we're looking at about 20 hours of work, which doesn't sound like a lot. But right now, 20 hours is a little bit difficult for me to find just physically. So it will be a little bit slower than usual, but everything will be 100% on time, which brings me to the other thing that's going on, which is Crime Busters number 7. Just received all of the copies of Crime Busters 7 from the printer last week, and I've started the fulfillment process there. Again, it's going slow. It's hard for me to pack stuff up and lift the comics and fold the boxes. It's kind of difficult for me. So I'm just doing a few at a time, but we've already got, I think, 19 I've got 19 packages packed, and I've got about 31 left. So we're about 40% of the way through that. The last couple are going to take longer because there's a lot of sketch cards that I have to draw by hand. But I'm looking at, hopefully I'll have Crime Buster 7, all the fulfillment I'm hoping will be done in the next 3 weeks or so. So I'm looking at mid-August. And then at that point, all my comic making energy will be turning towards finishing Quest. So we'll see how it goes. But my expectation right now is that I'll have the PDF version out to everybody sometime in early September. And then it'll go to the printer in September. So I'll be able to send everyone their copies in October. So that's what we're looking at right now. And that's ahead of schedule. So we'll see how it goes. But so far that looks pretty good. I want to get that out to the printer before we launch the next campaign. So that's another incentive for me to get it done as fast as possible, because we do have Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam number 3, which I'm about to send to the colorist, but that will be ready to launch sometime in the next couple months. So that's what we're looking at right now for the rest of the year, pretty much, is get these books out, have Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam number 3, and then we'll see how much of the year is left. Quest number 6 is drawn as well. I need to get that colored though, and none of the covers are done yet, so that's a little bit further behind. But there's a couple other small campaigns we may do towards the end of the year and push Quest 6 to the beginning of next year. We'll have to see how it goes. But we've got a lot of cool stuff coming. including Quest Zero at some point, which is a new like preface for the series that I think will add some nuance to things. And I've got there's going to be a new printing of Crime Busters #1 that will be launching because I pretty much sold out of Crime Busters 1 and all the original copies were in black and white. So we're going to be reprinting Crime Busters 1, but this time it'll be the first time that you can just get Crime Busters #1 as an individual issue in color. It's got an all new cover by Manuel Bracchi, who did the cover for Crime Busters 7, and it looks really cool. So we'll be doing that at some point, just a really small campaign just to pay for the printing basically. And I'm also working on getting some custom trading card binders with the Crime Buster Comics characters on them, so that those of you who collect the Crime Buster Comics trading cards will have a binder where you can put them all in there. So that's just a little sneak of everything that's going to be coming up. So after Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam #3 later this year, if there's not enough time at the end of the year to do a campaign for Quest #6, we'll probably do a Crime Busters #1 or the trading card binder or something at the end of the year, just a smaller campaign. But we'll see how it goes. We've got 13 minutes left on this. The other thing I want to mention for people that are returning backers, we've also got the new super backer program that I'm doing with all of my comics. And I say program, it's really, I just wanted to give a thank you to all the people who have been supporting so many of my campaigns. And so I've had some special trading cards made up. If you've backed at least 5 of my campaigns, next time you get a physical reward, you'll be getting a special super backer trading card as a thank you to commemorate and all of the campaigns you've done and sort of recognize, your contributions to all the comics. And then every 5 campaigns that you back after that, I've had some really, really cool special metal trading cards made. So when you back 10 campaigns, you'll be getting a metal trading card. And at 15, you get a different metal one. And at 20, there's a metal trading card that's glow in the dark. We haven't done 20 campaigns yet, but the next one for Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam #3 will be the 20th campaign. And I do have a couple people that are lined up to get that card when it happens. And so again, I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, but that's just something I really like doing the trading cards. It's a lot of fun for me. And I wanted to just do a little something to acknowledge those of you who have been my, most consistent, steady core supporters. I do notice these things. When I see the familiar names come through, it always makes me happy, even though I don't know most of you personally. I know the names, and when I see those familiar names come back, it really makes me feel good that you've enjoyed the comics enough so that even in tough times like now, you still want to spend your hard-earned money to read my next story. So that's what this trading cards are for. And, as time goes, I'll think of other things to do for the super backers, but hopefully people like that. So we're now at 10 minutes to go. If anyone has any questions or comments or anything, just let me know. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking for the next 10 minutes. I'll just talk, I guess, more about Quest because that's what this is about. Now, we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming up for Quest. Issue 6 is already drawn. I've got 1 page left to do. And with issue 6, I'm thinking about actually making it a little bit longer than normal because this will be where the first trade volume ends, which I'll talk about in a minute. And so there's a couple things I want to tease at the end of this issue for the next block of issues. And so I might add a couple bonus pages there. So that one might be 26 pages instead of 24. But right now we're basically at a point where there's just 1 page that I need to finish drawing. And I'm almost done with the cover, with a regular cover for issue 6. So issue 6 will be going to the colorist pretty soon. And then currently my plan is after we do issue 6, I'm going to do a small campaign for issue 0. Now that's also already drawn. Rock Alves, who did issue 2 and 3, who's really great at action sequences, he drew most of issue 6. I drew some of it myself, but then with these back injuries, I had to basically bring him on to finish it because I just wasn't physically able to. But Rock did most of issue 6. He drew all of issue 0, and he's already drawn all of issue 7 as well. So I love telling the story of Quest, so I'm really excited to share it with people this time. And there's a lot more in the pipeline. So issue 6, 0, and 7 are the art's already done. I just need to get this stuff colored, and then we'll be able to put those out. So you can definitely expect to see issue 6 and 0. If not the end of this year, we'll have those at the beginning of next year. And then once issue 6 and 0 are both out, we'll have the trade collection. We're going to be collecting all those in a softcover trade. And I'm hoping to also do a hardcover version that includes all of the RPG material in a hardcover that's a little bit oversized, so it looks like the size and heft of like a Dungeon Master Guide or Player's Handbook from Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm still working on that, but that trade will be out after issue 6 and 0, and then we'll do issue 7. So that will bring us into 2027. And then we'll see where we're at. I've got issue 8 already planned out, like it's plotted out, and I'm really excited for issue 8. Not that I'm not also excited for issue 6 and 7 and 0 in the trade, but issue 8, I got really excited when I was writing it. So I'm excited to get these stories out and tell these stories to everybody. And now's a perfect time to jump on board with Quest, because as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff planned. The series is going to continue. And I've talked a lot about all the, returning backers, but I also want to give a shout out to all the new backers. The last couple of campaigns with Quest have been almost entirely returning backers, which is great. And again, I love that because it means that people are liking the story. This time around, we have a lot of returning backers didn't actually return this time for whatever reason. Again, I think it's mostly just the economy and the way the world is, and people are tightening their belts. But for whatever reason, this time around, we've got a bunch of new backers, a whole influx, more new backers this time than either of the previous 2 campaigns. So thank you to all the new people that are giving Quest a try. I really appreciate it very much. I really hope you like it. And it's a great time to jump on board because, like I was just saying, we've got so much stuff lined up coming up in the future with Quest in the next couple of years. Now, as far as other series, we've got some stuff lined up. Just real quick, if you're a backer of other titles that I do, Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam #3. Where we're at here is I'm going to send it to the colorist shortly. The interior pages are all done, and I have one of the main covers done as well. So I'm just waiting on Samir is currently designing one of the other covers, secondary covers, or I'm not sure. Once I get the art, I'll decide what's the main cover and what's the variant. But he's currently designing that, so I'm going to be sending that off to the printer. We've got one of the other covers is already finished, so we've got about half of the covers are done. Interior art's all drawn, just needs to finish being colored. So that'll be ready, and then once that's out, then next year sometime I'm going to do basically a small trade, 100-page giant square bound that collects all 3 issues of Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam into one volume. I have a lot of big plans story-wise, some stories I would really love to tell starting with issue 4. Like I've got a bit of like maybe a 3-issue arc in mind for issues 4, 5, and 6. But that's really going to depend on how it does in terms of money. To be frank, I've been losing a lot of money on the last few issues just because of the shift in Kickstarter. A lot of different things, mainly the economy. So I'm at the point where I kind of need to tighten my own belt. And we're going to see if Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam #3 does well, then I'll just take the money from it and roll it over into the next one. If it doesn't do great, then we'll see how the trade collection does and see if that generates enough interest to do an issue 4. But I'm hoping so because, again, I have a lot of big ideas for the story for that series if we're able to continue it into the next arc. Finally, Crime Busters. Crime Busters, the last couple issues have taken a lot longer than I hoped to come out. And the situation here is that the whole reason that I hired other artists to draw Crime Busters is because I wanted them to come out faster. And they haven't actually come out faster. So I'm going to be going back to drawing Crime Busters myself. It means there's still going to be quite a delay between issue 7, which I'm mailing out now, and issue 8. So it's going to be probably a year again before the next issue comes out. I do have issue 8 planned out, and I have started the drawing, but again, with these injuries that I've had, I've kind of had to put that on hold. But I'm going to be working whenever I can on Crime Busters 8 in the background, and I'll be drawing Crime Busters 8 and Crime Busters 9 myself, and then that'll be basically 2 years to get those 2 issues out, and then I'll kind of reassess where we're at that point. But that's where we're at across the board with all of my different projects. I would also love to do a second issue of Geek Love, but that's actually going to sort of depend on the convention scene. It did very poorly on Kickstarter, but the couple of conventions I've brought it to, it's done okay, particularly when I brought it down to Connecticut in March for the Indie Comics Creator Con. Geek Love #1 did very well at that show. So I have all my spreadsheets and keep track of everything. And if we get to the point where Geek Love has kind of gotten back to break even, then at that point, hopefully we'll have built up enough of an audience for that series to justify drawing a second issue. I have a bunch of story ideas for that as well. So I'm ready to do it. It's just a matter of finance. But it's also a matter of how much time I have, because I'm working on so many things with such a limited amount of time that it is a little bit tricky to add anything new to the plate. But we're down inside the last 2 minutes, so I'm going to shift back over to here. And here we are. We can see we're at 106 backers, $2,624 backing again. Thank you all so much. We got 85 seconds left. Usually don't get any activity inside the last 2 minutes. I've had it happen a couple times where people have canceled their pledges inside the last 2 minutes. But now is the perfect time to jump on board if you haven't already here. There's 2 minutes left. There will be late pledges. Not all of the add-ons are necessarily available, and some of these rewards are in limited quantities. So if there's something you really want, the next 55 seconds is probably best to get it, just to make sure you get it. But if you're watching this, we did just get another backer with 45 seconds left. So thank you to whoever that was. Thank you so much. So looks like we're going to probably end at 107 during the regular time. And then we'll have the late pledges available for 2 or 3 weeks for people who maybe missed it the first time around, or sometimes people aren't able to back at a certain time because whatever their bills come up, and so maybe 2 weeks from now they'll have the extra money. So we'll see how it goes. Usually I get 3 or 4 more backers from the late pledges, so hopefully that'll happen, mainly because I just want to share the story with as many people as possible. But here we are. The fireworks are going off. There's the confetti. We have hit the end of the campaign. 107 backers, $2,624. $130. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate all your support. I appreciate you coming out here to watch me ramble on at length here. If you're not on my mailing list, I'll hit me up and I'll send you the link to how to sign up for that. But for those of you who are on the mailing list, just keep an eye out. Next time I'll be sending out in a couple of weeks, we'll have updates on the fulfillment of Crime Buster 7. We'll have updates on the fulfillment of Quest. And soon we'll have updates for the next campaign, Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam #3. So it's all happening thanks to you. So thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.